As bombs keep dropping across the Middle East, China carried on with the big political meetings it has every year, rolling out the country's growth targets and policies, signaling to the rest of the world about where China is at and where it's heading.
The messaging here is all about stability, that China and its leader Xi Jinping can manage a slowing economy in an uncertain world, as well as an unpredictable U.S. president.
The meetings are tightly choreographed, the decisions predetermined. The war didn't factor into China's plans.
Could the war in Iran affect economic targets for China?
Any disturbance anywhere in the world is, against the United Nations Charter is obviously something that it's of a concern.
The war in Iran complicates the scenario for China. As the world's largest importer of oil and gas, China gets nearly 40% of its supply of crude oil from Gulf countries, and it comes through the Strait of Hormuz, and it buys nearly all of Iran's oil exports at a heavy discount.
China has significant oil reserves, but its energy security is connected to Iran. According to marine data, some commercial ships are identifying as China-owned or China-linked to avoid being targeted by Iran if they try to pass through the waterway.
Iran itself is exporting oil at almost a record high. These security threats aren't disrupting Iranian oil exports. So China is still getting, the oil that's coming from Iran at this point.
It doesn't pertain to us so much as it does to China.
President Trump has said the U.S. would help keep the Strait of Hormuz open as a gift to China.
And it's my honor to do it.
Iran is China's ally and a strategic partner. In a relatively benign language they're using, criticizing the strikes, like saying this is a war that benefits nobody, suggests officials here are focused on keeping the oil flowing from the Gulf. As with U.S. intervention in Venezuela, there's growing concern that more U.S. military involvement could spur China to take bigger action too, like in Taiwan. It's something President Trump has dismissed. And interestingly, since the start of the Iran war, China has slowed aircraft drills around the island. Nobody knows exactly why. It could be because China also seems intent on keeping President Trump's upcoming visit to Beijing on track. At his annual news conference, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi said the agenda of high-level exchanges is already on the table, describing this as a big year for U.S.-China relations.
But with less than 3 weeks before President Trump is scheduled to visit China, there is uncertainty looming over the summit here, mainly around what the leaders will talk about.
The problem, according to sources and headlines here, is a lack of details from the White House about the agenda. A U.S. planning team is in Beijing, but Chinese officials are said to be anxious about finalizing every point in advance.
It has to be now a new balance and a new equilibrium. So I think that new equilibrium has been established now.
President Trump said last month that his visit to China would be a wild one. If it happens, it's sure to be grandiose, with pomp and pageantry, but a lot that can dampen the mood, too. Janis, Mackey, Frayer, NBC News, Beijing.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.